Tales of Vesperia, originally released in the US on August 26, 2008 for the Xbox 360. Another version with added content was released a year later in Japan on September 17, 2009, and then later re-released as the Definitive Edition worldwide for PC, PS4, Xbox One, and Switch on January 11, 2019, a full 10 years later. Needless to say, this game has been out for quite a while, but with this latest release, it's the best time to get into it. To start off, let's talk about the story and what this game's central theme is. The story starts off with Yuri Lowell, living in the lower quarters of the city of Zaphius, the main city of the Empire. He ends up running into a girl named Estelise, who is looking for Flynn Shifo, a member of the Knights, and both Yuri and her friend. They set out on a quest to find Flynn and a Blastia thief who stole a Blastia from the lower quarters. Obviously this isn't the full story, but I'll get into more specifics when we talk about spoilers. Now, the main central theme this game goes for is to not be afraid of making choices. In a lot of people's lives, choices can be really scary and hard to make. This game's main themes are that concept, and generally does a good job executing that. The first issue I experienced with this game, though, is that it beats you over the head with the whole, "It's your choice, what do you want to do?" or "I made my choice, are you gonna make yours?" It just keeps saying the same thing. There's a part in the game where Estelle is having a hard time deciding something, and it seems like it's a pretty simple decision, but the game just keeps having the same dialogue like 4 or 5 times, when it should have just been 2 at most. The problem for me is that the dialogue seems to be treating me like I'm a big dummy, and it has to explain every little thing even though we just heard about it. It really conflates the dialogue and is really annoying when you have to hear the same thing over and over again, and no progress is made. Since we're talking about the story, my biggest complaint with this game is that the main story is about 15 to 20 hours longer than it should be. Now, if you really enjoyed the world and the characters, I'm sure you didn't want this game to end, and this game has a ton of extra stuff to do. It's just, to me, the game kept coming up with new problems that we had to solve, and it just felt like padding. It felt like they needed this game to be super long and just kept coming up with dumb ideas to extend the playtime. The constant back and forth to the same location gets a little tiresome. And just when you think, I feel like I'm getting close to the end, hope you're ready for another 15 hours. My problem is that it didn't feel like that extra 15 hours was filled with anything interesting, and was more filled to extend the game. Now let's talk about something that I was hesitant in the beginning, but then I ended up really enjoying. The characters. In the beginning, I was pretty lukewarm on the characters, except for one, Rita. When you meet her, and for a while through this game, she's the biggest bitch in the world. I'm guessing they were going for a tsundere type of character, but she just came across as a huge bitch for no reason. But by the end of the game, I really liked all the characters, even Rita. My top 3 characters were Carol, Raven, and Yuri. Speaking on Carol, the one character that really rocked me emotionally was Carol. I'll get into that when we talk about spoilers. Well, while we're speaking about characters, let's talk about some questionable decision that this game makes. So since this is the version of the game that comes with extra content that never left Japan, there was a bunch of new voice lines that needed to be added to the base game. And whoever was in charge did a good job getting the main cast of the game back, except for one character, the main character, Yuri. In the definitive edition of the game, all of the new voice lines that weren't in the original game are done by a different voice actor that's not Troy Baker. Now, the new voice actor, Grant George, does a decent job of mimicking Troy. It's super noticeable, which sucks. You can tell instantly when it's the new voice actor.
It's now or never. Whew, looks like we lost him.
Whenever I heard the new voice, it just felt like someone took over Yuri's body and was producing a new voice. And sadly, there are some other characters that this happens to. But none of the main cast has this problem except for Yuri. Another thing with the skits in this game, most of the new skits from the Japanese version are also degraded super hard in quality. Just listen.
So tell me about this frail girlfriend of yours, Carol.
What?
The reason you want to go to Nor Harbor is so you can see her, isn't it?
How much does Alexei know about the Apatheia?
I only heard that a terrible power dwells within them.
If the Union gains possession of them, the guilds will be able to resist the Empire in actual war.
It's really weird. I don't know what happened in the studio or if this is some kind of bug. I have no clue. But it's really distracting because it sounds like shit. One of the new characters from the Japanese release is Patty. I won't say too much in terms of spoilers, but I really like her character. She's more comic relief, but that's not all she is. She's a genuinely great character with a very satisfying conclusion. Plus look how cute she is. Now let's talk about gameplay. The overworld of this game is serviceable. There aren't really any secrets on the overworld. It's mainly used to get to one point to another, which really isn't a problem, but something I wanted to mention. Also, I wish you could fast travel in the dungeons. It's just not fun, especially when you need to get items but you're at the end of the dungeon. The combat in this game is actually pretty fun. So how it works is you have a standard 3-hit combo by pressing B. You can change that 3-hit combo while pressing any directional input into the left stick. If you press the A button, you use an art, which is a more powerful special attack that uses TP. Which art you use depends on which direction you're pressing with the left stick. Simple but fun and really satisfying to stun lock enemies and bosses with huge combos. You also have mystic arts, which are super attacks that can only be used when you use your overdrive. Overdrive builds up when attacking or getting hit. You can also use a limit bottle to boost that up a full bar. Gear is also a really big part of this game. You'll be constantly getting new weapons and armor while playing through this game. It seems like it would get overwhelming with how much you have to keep track of, but it's super straightforward and fun to get new items with huge stats. I played the game on normal, and I thought it was pretty much a perfect difficulty. It's intense enough to force you to constantly be paying attention. Another problem I have with this game is the fact that it's sometimes hard to know what to do next. You don't get markers or a quest log. You have to listen to the conversations to know where to go next. This has gotten me lost a few times. It's just really easy to skip a lot of the extra stuff in this game, which is a shame because from what I've experienced, it's unique and fun side content. The music in this game is definitely a highlight. The soundtrack was composed by Motoi Sakuraba, who before this game came out worked on almost all of the Tales games. Also, I don't know where to put this, but this game likes to use these sick fucking animated cutscenes for their important moments. The animated scenes were done by Production IG, and they did an awesome job, especially with that opening. Some great Sakuga moments. Alright, it's spoiler time. Jump to this time to skip it. Now the moment that really choked me up a bit was after Don had died. Carol was super sad and thought everything he was doing was pointless. I hated seeing Carol cry. It just really hurts. Also, while yes, Raven is one of my favorite characters, I was pretty disappointed he didn't stay dead, as weird as that sounds. I was like, holy shit, a main character died. That just upped the ante for what this game could produce. But then he was just like, psych, I'm not dead. Speaking of death, I really like the whole arc Yuri had when he was just killing people. I really like that dark side of Yuri, thinking that the best way to handle them is to just straight up murder them. Pretty awesome. Another awesome moment in this game is when you have to fight Estelle alone. The whole fight, the slow sad music playing in the background, perfect execution. I was also a little disappointed that you don't fight the twins within the story. You fight them as post-game side quests, but the opening made it seem like you fight them in the manner of the wicked. Also, dog. Fuck Sodia. She is the worst goddamn character in the entire game. She wants to fucking apologize to me after she stabbed me. No. Just because I'm friends with Flynn. Fuck you. Also, the scene where Yuri fucking slices Alexei was sick as hell. Great animation. Another thing. Tell me if I'm getting this right. So, the main supervillain to the world was an alien. The Autophagos was an alien, right? Anyway, all in all, for my first Tales game, I must say I'm a whole lot more interested in this series than I was previously. I really enjoyed this game's world. I know this game is considered one of the best Tales games, but I'm still interested in trying them all. But I'd say get this game. Just know some of the things that I mentioned earlier. I played this game on PC and it runs pretty great and the settings are surprising for a game like this. It's currently $50 US, which seems pretty steep, but they did have to add a lot of stuff that wasn't voiced in English. Alright, thanks for watching my review of Tales of Vesperia. The next review should be East 8. I'm not gonna promise that it's going to be Ys 8, but it should be Ys 8. And then after that, it will be RE2 remake, and then after that will be Kingdom Hearts 3. There may be a review thrown in there between the wait. I'm unsure, but yeah. Thanks for watching, and bye!